Hello everyone and welcome back to our YouTube channel, The Quality Analyst. Now today's session is important, especially if you want to move from writing Selenium code to understanding Selenium code. Up until now, you might have written statements like driver.manage.window.maximize or driver.findElement by.xpath. Okay, and many beginners write this code, copy this code, even use it in project, but deep inside there is always one question: how is this even working? Why are so many methods written in one single line? Is this some Java shortcut or Selenium magic? So today we are going to discuss about this. We will understand it deeply with the help of method chaining topic. Okay, so let's understand what is method chaining. So the method chaining means calling multiple methods one after another in a single line, because each method returns an object that allows the next method to be called. That's it. So no magic, no shortcut, just return object. So let's look at this very common Selenium line, that is driver.manage.window.maximize. So at first glance, this looks complicated, but in reality, it's just a chain of return object. So now let's break this line slowly, step by step. So first is our driver, which is an object of type WebDriver. So we are starting from the WebDriver interface. Then comes manage, driver.manage. So what does this manage method do? The manage does not return void. Instead, it returns an object of type options. So options is an interface. So if you click on this manage, you will see the return type of manage is option type. Okay, and this is an interface. Okay, inside this WebDriver option. So if you just click on options, this is an interface. Okay, and again, if you just try to see the implementation for this, it is this options is getting implemented by remote WebDriver options class. Okay, so internally Selenium is saying here is an options object, just use it. Okay, so that's why we are able to use that manage directly. And after that, if you go to the third method, that is driver.manage.window, so now window is called on an options object, because the driver.manage is returning options object, right? On that options object, we are calling window method. Okay, so again, window does not return void, it returns window object. So again, if you just click on window, you see here it is an interface of window type, WebDriver.window. Again, if you want to see the implementation, the WebDriver window. Okay, so here it is returning an remote window object. Okay, so that's why we can call on window method as well, because it is returning the window object. Okay, so here the next method is maximize. So finally this is called on the window object. Okay, so this method performs a certain action, so like maximizing, minimizing, like that. Okay, so what looks like one line is actually first is WebDriver. Okay, this is of WebDriver type, this is object of WebDriver type. Then driver.manage is an object of options type. Then driver.manage.window, it returns a window type, right? Object of window type. And at the end, it is performing some action. Okay, so this is called as a method chaining. So this is where many beginners misunderstand things. They think Selenium allows writing multiple methods in one line. No, Selenium allows this case because each method return an object. That return object has another method, and Java allows calling methods on return objects. So this is object reuse, not syntax trickery. Okay, so you could technically write like this. Maybe we can try like this. So options is equal to driver.manage. So driver.manage. Okay, so what driver.manage will return? It will return option type, the object of WebDriver options type. Okay, similarly, if you want to do that for window, that you can do like this. So here directly, if you try to write options dot window, okay, and then if you want to store it, then you need to store it in a window object of window type. Import this. Okay, similarly now you can directly use window dot maximize. So instead of writing in a single line, you can still write in these 3 lines. Same logic, same execution, and but just a different style. Okay, so Selenium simply choose the fluent style because we can simply write it in 1 line, because each and every operation is returning some return object. Okay, so let's take another example, which is very common example for driver.findElement By.id. Okay, so again, beginners ask, how can sendKeys be called directly after WebElement, after findElement? So we can simply pass here sendKeys and then let's say admin. Okay, so again, let's break it down. So first step, driver.findElement. So what findElement return? It returns an WebElement object. So if you just over our findElement, you see the return type is WebElement or OpenQA Selenium WebElement. Okay, not text, not boolean, not void, a WebElement object. Okay, and on that object we can call this sendKeys method, right? So once you have WebElement, you can call the another method, right? That is a sendKeys. So even if you want to go inside findElement, you see the return type is WebElement. Okay, if you want to go inside sendKeys, you see it is not returning anything, it is just returning void, because this is the method which is actually doing some action, right? So this is how the method chaining works in this case. So now let's connect this with a Selenium API design. Selenium uses interfaces heavily. So if you see WebDriver is an interface. Okay, this is an interface. Options is an interface. Window is an interface, and WebElement is an interface. Okay, so why? Because Selenium supports Chrome, Firefox, Edge, remote drivers. So methods return interfaces, not concrete classes. Okay, so for example, manage returns options, findElement returns WebElement. So this allows Selenium to hide implementation, support multiple browsers, and keep API consistent. And method chaining becomes possible because interfaces define behavior, objects return implement those interfaces. So let's summarize today's session. So method chaining is based on return objects. Selenium methods do not return void. Manage returns options. Window returns window. findElement returns WebElement. Selenium uses interfaces for flexibility. This is object reuse, not magic syntax. So once you understand this, you stop memorizing Selenium and you start understanding Selenium. So if this video helped you, like this video, subscribe to the channel and share it with fellow learners. So in the next video, we'll go deeper into WebDriver interfaces and architecture. Happy learning, and I will see you in the next lecture.